I've been at MIT 25 years, and when I came here as a PhD, I'd already worked for some time before my PhD and master's program. And during my PhD was all about sort of thinking about things differently. And when I came to MIT, I carried that to a whole new level, I think. And MIT gave me the freedom to do that. That's really the beauty of this place. And so it was all about, why do people do something this way? Why don't they do it this other way? And getting out of the rut, thinking about things differently, asking different questions, looking at something, sideways, and everyone's looking at it this way. That's been a central element of my own progression as a researcher, and also, frankly, as a teacher. And so in my research, my work was in radio frequency ID, and we questioned the way in which our RFID was being implemented. We developed an entirely different way to do it. It was a team effort, it was collaborative. We worked with companies, we understood their problems, and RFID is a massive industry now. But for me, it was transformative. I went out with startup companies, helped companies innovate. So it became very sort of deeply embedded in my psyche that you have to question, you have to be curious, and rules are important. But in science and engineering, questioning the rules is equally important. And that is something I hope people understand is an affordance that MIT offers that I hope to take advantage of. MIT has many ways to get involved in innovation. By the way, human beings are born innovative. Babies are super innovative. That's why we find them cute and sometimes naughty. And what our education system often does is it inhibits it. So in some ways, you have to wake it up. And the way to wake it up is to immerse yourself. And the Innovation Initiative has all sorts of programs, Sandbox, you have hackathons, you have the Trust Center, you have the Minor, you have Europs, you have talking to each other, the ability to question anything and understand why it's done one way, and to perhaps even identify a different way to do it. That is a state of mind. And at Open Learning, in the initiative we created to innovate in education, interestingly, we have a lot of content in entrepreneurship and innovation through massive open online courses and so on that students can take, and they should feel free to reach out to me if they want access to them. So I think it's more about really getting into a state of mind and removing the inhibitions sometimes that our education puts on us sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for not so good reasons, and awakening the inner innovator that you were as a child. I think that opportunity is what we hope to create. If you look at a problem two-dimensionally, you're limited to two-dimensional options. But if you can look at a problem from multiple directions, multiple dimensions, you can really say, oh my God, I could have done this so differently. Like one example of that is the founding of Dropbox. Drew Houston was a student at MIT. I think he was taking the bus to New York, and he realizes that he didn't bring his flash drive. He goes, in the era of the cloud, why flash drive? Why don't you dump it in the cloud? And that's how Dropbox was born, right? That question of why not do it this way, right? That requires a diversity of thought. That requires people looking at the same problem from multiple directions. No problem is two-dimensional, it's multi-dimensional. And the diversity of thought, diversity of people, diversity of perspectives fleshes out the multiple dimensions and gives us those aha moments, the invention moments. That's one piece of it. And then you also have to learn, it's not just about inspiration, it's perspiration. And MIT gives you the tools to do the engineering to make it work and persevere and try this out and pivot and so on. So I think the diversity of experiences at MIT hopefully will help build those muscles and prepare our students for an uncertain world that unfortunately they're going to confront. There are lots and lots of things, but strangely enough, what I look forward to the most is the serendipitous collisions, intersections that happen at the Lobby 7 coffee shop. That's when you meet the chemist and the person behind you in the line is talking about some brilliant, crazy, maniacal thing they want to do, and you go, oh, interesting. And then you hear someone else say something, and then you meet an old friend and you ask them what they're doing, And that mingling of ideas is where the magic occurs.